Welcome back to my channel, guys. Next in food, I am your diva chef, Simone Walker-Barrett. Today I want to share with you another of my family's favorite Jamaican comfort food with a twist, and this time it's in the form of an appetizer. I'll be showing you how to make shrimp and ackee spring roll. Now it's ackee season. Ackee is everywhere. We have a love affair with ackee. Our national dish is ackee and saltfish, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit, and I'm going to take a little influence from the Chinese in terms of the spring roll, and of course I'm going to be adding some shrimp in the ackee. So let's make some ackee spring roll. Okay guys, for the ackee spring roll you're going to need about a tablespoon of oil, and to that we're going to add some dried shrimp. Now these are dried pepper shrimp that we usually snack on in Jamaica. They're salty and crunchy and absolutely delicious. So these are the shrimp I'm using. So I want to put them into the oil first just to wake the flavor up. Now you can find these in the snack aisle or of the supermarket or at the checkout point at the gas station. I'm also going to be adding some aromatic vegetables, and in here I have a small white onion chopped, a small tomato chopped, and a small red bell pepper, and toss these together. Okay, next I am going to add 1 serving of vegetables, and this is 1 small carrot shredded. I like to add a serving of vegetables to everything that I make for my family. So in goes 1 small shredded carrot. Then this is my little secret here, a 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. Just put that in. Now if you don't like curry powder, you can always just leave it out, but I like the flavor that it brings to this ackee and shrimp spring roll. It's all about flavor. When you're cooking, you're going to get a nice taste from that dried shrimp. Now if you can't find the dried shrimp, feel free to use fresh shrimp. And then finally we're going to be adding the star. This is ackee that has been cleaned and boiled. So we're just going to add some ackees in, and all there is to do now is just to combine the flavors. Now because we're going to be using this as a filling, you don't want the vegetables to cook too much. You want to make sure that we have the flavors combined, and then finally a couple crack of fresh black pepper. Now you can add as much pepper as you like or as little as you want, and that's all there is to it. This is the ackee and shrimp filling that's going to go into our spring roll. So I'm going to take it off and let it cool a little bit, and then we're going to make up the spring roll. Guys, so our ackee has been cooling for about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese to the party. Now the mozzarella cheese just gives it a little bit more vibe. This is totally optional, and if you don't have mozzarella cheese, you can use your favorite cheese. But this is a nice game day snack. This is a nice little entertaining snack. So if you have somebody coming over, you don't know what to make, you can just make this. It's very easy. Now these are spring roll wrappers. These are made from rice flour. It's very important to cover them with damp cloth because they will dry out. Now we're going to need a little flour slurry to hold the filling into the spring roll. So we're into this container of about 1/4 cup of water. I'm adding 1/4 cup of flour, and you're just going to use a fork and just mix it into a thick paste. What the paste does is seal the filling in. I'll show you how this is done. So this is ready. So for our spring rolls, usually just take them, put them into a damp cloth, keep them covered up, and then the one that you'll be making, you put it on your cutting board like that while you keep the others covered. Now I like to double them because they're a little bit thin, but this is totally optional. You don't have to double them if you don't want to. So by doubling, I mean I'm doing 2 together. So what I do 1 spoon of filling smacked in the middle. Now less is best when you're making this. You don't want to pack it with too much filling. And then you're going to take your pastry brush to apply the flour slurry. So the first thing you want to do is to close it up, bring it towards you, give it a roll, see that? And then you're going to bring the sides in like this. And then this is where the flour slurry comes in, and I refer to this as the glue because it helps everything to stick together. All right, now I use this because it works every single time. I find that the water is not strong enough, the water by itself, so I like to do a flour slurry. Just get it in there and just make sure every single thing is closed in. See that? And this is what your spring rolls should look like. Now we're going to put some sesame seeds on some of these just to give it a nice little look, make it pretty for dinner. We're going to roll a couple more of these before we start frying. Now this will be cooked in oil, and the oil must be about 350, 375. Remember now, our rule is fried food should never ever be greasy. So to prevent it from being greasy, you have to make sure that you cook it at the correct temperature. So let's talk about a few things that you need to be cognizant of when you're making fried food. So you want to make sure that the oil is hot enough. So 3 to 350 is fine, because once you put the product in, it's going to lower the temperature. So you want to start at about 375. So when you put the product in, it will go down to 350. That's all there is to it. See that? And so I'm adding a little bit more of the flour slurry that is acting as the glue. Remember I told you I'm going to be adding some sesame seed for texture. So you add a little flour slurry on top, and then you can just sprinkle on the sesame seed. And this is what makes it look extra pretty. So just on one side is good enough. Now time for us to go to the fryer. Alright guys, so our oil has been heating up. It's nice and hot. You just want to carefully lower the spring rolls into the oil. Do not throw the pot now. So I'm going to put like 5 in at a time. And you want to fry this on high so that it goes very, very, very fast. Okay guys, so it's time to plate, but first I want you to take a look on the inside. Look at that. Isn't that just some Ackee love? All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 sesame seed ones on, and we're going to leave a couple cuts so that your guests will be able to know right away. You see that cheese? See that stretchiness of the mozzarella cheese? Remember that the cheese is totally optional. I'm just showing you how versatile it can be. And so spring roll is getting a moment. So make some spring roll for your family today. Now before I go, I want you to remember to like, comment, and share. Now tell a friend about my channel Next in Food. I'd love to hear from you. I am your diva chef, Simone Walker Barrett. You do take care.